which is something that you really need to have, right?
Yeah, it interrupts your sleep. It's going to be talking about the subconscious mind, and yeah, and
We'll go
nightmares
ahead.
are one of
Sorry.
those things that seem to stick with people throughout the day.
Okay, I think we're live. Are we live? I'm
I
thinking
believe
so.
we're
Yes, we
live.
are. All right. Okay, I'm going to start the recording. So welcome to episode 43. Not particularly uh, nice thing to be happening in your body, and Helena's going to talk about the subconscious mind and the role it plays. So we're at episode 43, and we're talking about nightmares and releasing those trapped emotions that are causing the nightmares. Because we live in a culture where sleep deprivation is huge, and whether you've got a young child that's keeping you up, a baby or whatever, or you've got a snoring husband that keeps you awake, or snoring, maybe you're the one that does the snoring, I don't know, but it's, or things are on your mind, you start worrying, you forget to empty everything into a garbage can, and then all these things come up and you don't have a good sleep. And from a law of attraction perspective, you start the day off kind of feeling crappy. And unfortunately, if that's how you feel and you don't get out of it by being mindful or having your trapped emotions released, then that may continue through the day. Well, I'm Dana J. Smithers. I am one of the Emotion Code Divas. Helena is my partner in the show that we do every week. We're both certified Emotion Code practitioners. We follow the works and have been trained by Dr. Bradley Nelson. This is a book, his book. You can buy it. You can practice yourself. You can work on reading through the case studies that he's done, as well as all the chart is in here that we work from as well. So we're going to be going through, as we do every show, just very briefly the steps that we go through in doing a session. So not only am I a certified emotion code practitioner, I'm a certified Reiki practitioner, and my focus is actually on animals. So I really enjoy working on animals, and I found that when I work on the animals, I also work on the guardian, because oftentimes animals will pick up a human's emotions because they think they're alleviating some of that pain for them. And so you have to be very mindful that you let your pet know that it's okay, you can handle it. And hey, get some emotion code sessions to release some of those trapped emotions so your animal doesn't think it has to, take care of you. And then I'm also a certified law of attraction life coach, and I work with people that are wanting to discover their sacred gifts. So that's a lot about me. But Helena and I and other people that are in the healing industry, we have different modalities, and we bring a lot of tools to our toolkit. So the important thing is, when you're looking for someone who does the emotion code, is find someone that resonates with you, right? You want to be a vibrational match when you're working together. So a very exciting show today. I'm going to be doing the work on someone that has a lot of nightmares, wakes up feeling sick, and her severity is a 10. So my intention is to remove those trapped emotions for her so that those nightmares can desist from entering her mind. And Helena's going to talk about why does that happen, right? Our show is to educate, inspire, and heal and release some trapped emotions. So Helena, over to you, girlfriend.
Thank you, Dana. I am Helena Jehnichen. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. In my practice, I help men and women release excess weight, remove fears and phobias, and also I'm known as the Stop Smoking Lady. I help
Mhm.
people stop smoking in one hypnosis session. With all of my hypnotherapy sessions, I like to incorporate the emotion code technique. I find it effective, rapid, and my clients, some of them they don't know what it's all about, but they feel better, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm going to be talking today about the subconscious mind, When I work with people in hypnosis, they actually go into a nice trance-like state where we can access the subconscious mind. More to come about that.
Great. Thanks so much, Helena. So let's just go ahead. We're just going to jump right in and talk about the steps, the keys that we use to go through it, whether we're doing it by phone. I've got a call just after this that I'm doing on, I think that one I'm doing on Skype, but I've been doing more on Facebook Messenger, the video chat. We can do it on things like Blue Jeans. So there's many ways that people can connect with us. And they don't have to be in the same room with us. Now, Helena has an office where she does her hypnosis and emotion code sessions. Not all of them are done in there, but if someone's local, then she'll have them there. I do just about everything by phone, unless I'm working with animals that are, within a reasonable area that I can get to them. So the first thing that we ask, and I ask this today for the person I'm working with, is permission. So tell us a little bit. Can't we just work with anybody? Hey, we just had a big election in the United States, and not that we're talking about politics here, but trust me, there's so many people I would like to work on. But you know what? They voted, and that's where the vote is. And as much as we'd like to, we need to get
permission. That's right, because it's the ethical thing to do. It's part of our practice. It's part of our very first thing. We ask for permission. We don't want to be just working on people, and I'm not even sure, Dana, if it would be allowed, because the subconscious mind is aware of everything, and so we're asking the person's permission. And if we're working on a child or an animal, we'll get the guardians or the parents' permission to be able to work on the animal or the child.
Yeah, and so sometimes when I'm working on an animal, if they're not here and I'm doing distance, either emotion code or Reiki, again, you're right, we do have to get permission. And sometimes with animals, we can offer it for a particular, and with people, a situation, right? We can put it out there for a situation. And we're always asking that the energy, negative emotions be released for the highest good of that person, situation, and everyone concerned. So, and Helena and I don't know what that looks like. Other than, well, when Helena's very definitely working on the smoking, we know that we want to, release that habit. If she's working on releasing weight, we want to do that. But there's so many emotions that are underlying all of that. So we ask for the highest good of everybody concerned that that healing, that energy therapy is working. So we talked a little bit about this, the proxy. So we become their proxy if they're not with us.
That's right. So we become their proxy. So when Dana, you'll be working on your client today, you will actually tap into her subconscious mind and ask questions, yes or no questions directly. And so, yeah.
Exactly. Right. And so the other thing I had to ask this person today, her name is Linda, is what's the severity of the nightmares? And she said most of the time it's a 10. So what does that mean, Helena?
Well, whenever I'm working or we work with the emotion code, we like to have a conscious answer. So the conscious mind is giving us an answer of what the conscious mind thinks the severity level is, and that gauges, it gives us a reference point. So later on, when we are finished our work, we can find out where they're at afterwards. Our intention is to lower that number significantly, and our intention is to get it down to a 0. But when we are actually doing the work, we ask the subconscious mind, when we're connected, to confirm the level of severity. And sometimes it's different.
Exactly. And it's interesting that you say that, because yesterday I was working on someone, and I know it was fairly serious. She said, oh, what's a 4 or 5? And I think, 4 or 5. I said, well, let me just check the subconscious. 10. So, because some people don't really understand what we're saying when we ask that particular question. So we do check in with that subconscious. Yeah. And then how do we do that? We do that through something called muscle testing.
Muscle testing, yes. So I have an agreement with my subconscious mind. Let's show the picture again. My subconscious mind, that when I interlink these fingers here and I think of the word yes, my fingers lock together. And when I think of the word no, they just separate. So when you see me testing, I'm doing this for you, and that will be a yes, and that will be a no. Dana, how do you do your muscle testing?
Well, I do mine sometimes with a pendant, and I'll allow the pendant to give me a yes or no. As Helena said, that's the only questions that we only get a yes or no answer. We're not psychic. We're not, tapping into past lives and asking for information there, although we may, but we're still going to go for a yes or no. So I put my index and thumb finger together, and then on my other hand, I have my middle finger and index finger, and that's a good solid yes for me, and that's a no. And you don't, if you're trying this and doing this yourself, you don't have to make it hard. In fact, your fingers are going to get tired if you're putting too much stress on them. So Dr. Brad, in a lot of his YouTube videos, says just light, you'll just get it right away. And I find, and I know Helena finds, that we can go very, very rapidly by doing that. As I say, I like the pendulum mostly for checking out chakras, but it's a little bit too slow for me overall, right? Yeah. All right. And the next thing, so what are we doing? So we're muscle testing trapped emotions.
That's right. So we're the chart that we use is Dr. Bradley Nelson's who created it, and out of all the hundreds of different emotions there are, came with up with 60, and he placed them into a chart. There are 2 columns on this chart, A and B, and there's 6 rows. Now, so when we're doing our work, we'll be asking, is it in column A or column B? Is there a trapped emotion in, then is it an odd row or an even row? And then we'll come down to a cell with 5 different emotions, and then we'll ask individually about those emotions, and we'll use our muscle testing. Once we get a yes, we'll ask if we can release it. It says yes, we go ahead and use our special tool, which is our next key, magnet. This is my magnets that I have handy today. And what we do is we swipe over our governing meridian. So our governing meridian, Chinese medicine, they've mapped out centuries ago the different energy meridians in the body. And in acupuncture, they say that the governing meridian starts underneath the nose and then goes all the way down to the tailbone. So you'll see us using magnets, swiping over our head this time 3 times. And if it's an inherited emotion, which is something that was trapped and passed on at the time of conception, we'll do it 10 times.
Right.
Magnets are very powerful. Dana, what's your take on the magnet, why it works?
Well, I've got, yours are hematite and so are mine. You can pick these up at New Age stores or some shops that sell crystals and all of that will have them. But if you don't have it, you can also use your hand. I've been in a situation where I didn't have my magnets with me and someone contacted me. So what we're doing is when we get that trapped emotion, let's say it happens to be trapped emotion of fear, all right? So fear comes up, we ask the question, can we remove it? It says yes. So we go ahead and we do the swipes, and what we are doing is, because we've set an intention to be as connected as we can to the person's subconscious that we're working with to remove the trapped emotions at this time, right? Because I think Dr. Brad says we have, like, I don't like to scare people, but 600 or something emotions, and we always have emotions going on. So they can have conception, past life, whatever. So we're actually literally demagnetizing that. So when we're doing this motion, what we're doing is that trapped emotion has come up. Let's say it's fear. I'm demagnetizing it, right? Just the same way that a credit card can get demagnetized in your wallet when it gets attracted to too much magnetism, and it just demagnetizes it, and we feel the release from that.
Yeah.
And the last thing that every practitioner needs to be, and it's just something good to do for your health anyway, is be hydrated. So we always need to be hydrated. We cut out the caffeine on those days when I know I'm not doing some emotion code. I'll have a coffee or a cup of tea, whatever. But I drink water throughout the day anyway. It's just a really good thing to do. So that's it in a nutshell, what we do. The processing that goes on after this is up to the individual and their subconscious and conscious mind. So we know for a fact that I'd say 99.9% of people always say they feel lighter, they feel better. They don't really know what's happened, but as time goes on, we hear better and better results that they've gotten. So Helena, you're going to go ahead and give our education piece today, and I'm going to just take my earplugs out and go ahead and work on this person. So she has severity of a 10, and also I will check it. And she said a lot of her nightmares are about past abusive relationships. She also disclosed that she grew up in a very violent household, lots of loud yelling and all of that going on. And she also has insomnia and takes some medication for that. So while we do want to know your story, we don't need to go into a huge amount of detail about it. And this is actually sufficient to go ahead and just start working on this person. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And just give a shout out to Natasha Paula Samuel, one of our loyal followers in Rumford, Essex. Oh, wet and damp. And Helena and I are very lucky. We have sunny skies. I do. Do you have sunny skies on the island?
It is a little gray out, but
Okay.
it was pretty chilly. It was like 5 degrees Celsius this morning when I left.
It has started to get cold. I went for a walk yesterday and I went, oh no, I need socks. And I had to come back and get, just get some warmer clothes on. But it's beautiful today. It's sunny. All right. So, hi, Gersh Gillum. Nice to see you watching. And Helena, you go ahead and I'm just going to unplug here.
Great. Okay, good. Hi, Deborah. How are you this morning? Deborah is another hypnotherapist friend of mine, and she's watching. And also, she is just about completing her motion code practitioner certification process. Almost there. Keep going. Right. So today I'm going to be talking about the subconscious mind and how it relates to nightmares. So in the subconscious mind, what we say is actually our mind is made up of basically 2 parts, the conscious part and the subconscious part. The conscious part, some people say it's maybe like 5 or 10% of the mind, where the subconscious mind is 90 to 95%. And a lot of people think that the conscious mind is the part of the mind that's in control. Well, actually what's happening is it's the subconscious mind that is in control. And it's in control because it stores all of our emotions, our habits, our memories, our imagination, our dreams. It's a place that has the muscle memory, reflex actions, and things that, just a moment ago, I know that you just took a breath and your heart beated and the blood was circulating throughout your system. Your hair is growing, and there's a part of your mind that's all in control of that automatically. It just takes care of it automatically. And this is why our habits are stored down here in the automatic part, because certain things just need to be automatic. Imagine if you're driving a car and you had to drive a car like it's the very first time each and every time. Do you remember that when you started to learn how to drive a car and you had to think about, your seat, where your hands went on the steering wheel? How do you start the car? How do you make the car go? How do you make the car stop? How do you switch lanes? How do you park a car? All that kind of stuff. Well, after a little while, you start to learn how to drive a car really, really well. And you can start to think of more other things like other things that are coming to your mind. Perhaps you're on a new route and you're trying to figure out how to go on this new route, but you're not thinking about your gas and your brake and different things like that. Well, that's because your subconscious mind already knows how to do that. You remember learning how to tie your shoelaces? Have you ever seen a child learning how to tie shoelaces? It's quite a struggle in the beginning until they get it. And after they get it, they can just do it automatically because those habits And those muscle memory lives down here in the subconscious part of your mind. So the other part that lives in your subconscious mind are your emotions. And that's why when we're doing the emotion code, we're tapping into the subconscious part of the mind, asking it yes or no questions. And those yes or no questions, then we can get answers and we can release them. So the other part of the subconscious mind is our memories. Believe it or not, when I'm working with my clients in hypnosis and they go into a nice trance-like state, we're able to connect with the subconscious mind, and they're able to go back to different times in their life that they're consciously not aware of maybe anymore, but where they're holding their emotions about a particular event or issue. And it's wonderful because the subconscious mind is aware of that event or issue, but because we're in an office and I'm working with one-on-one, they know that they're safe because they can hear my voice. They can feel the chair and they know that they're in a different place. But their subconscious mind can go back to that memory now as an adult and go back to that younger time. And they can re-experience the part, not experience it, but remember it. And if it was not a very pleasant experience, then there's techniques that the person can remain completely disassociated and just view it and learn new things from it, because all of a sudden they're bringing in their adult mind to that situation. They have all the years experience and knowledge that that younger person didn't have. Isn't that amazing? If you were younger, imagine if you were a child, but you had all the knowledge about how things were going to turn out and that you're actually going to be okay. How different that experience may be. And that's why hypnosis works so well, because we use that trance-like state, we communicate with the subconscious mind, and we're able to access the memories that are perhaps holding us back, that are keeping us on the same path, that are just running in the background. And we can reframe them. So there's a new perception and a new learning and a new understanding. So the memory is there, but now it's been changed. And imagine how wonderful that could be moving forward through life with a new feeling towards an old memory. You see, your memories are in the past. And when we keep living in them and keep dragging them forward onto your shoulders, onto your back, life can sometimes feel very heavy. Now imagine allowing yourself to just drop those memories and just leave them there in the past so you can move forward in the path that you want to go. Now, if you think that we can do that with your conscious mind, oh, just forget about it, it's the past. Well, no, it's the subconscious mind. That's where we need to work. That's where we want to work to create the change. And so what's really wonderful is the subconscious mind is also the part of the mind that holds your imagination. So if you're ever imagining something and you're imagining it to be really terrific and it's really great and it's something that you really want to feel and experience and have and you want, then your subconscious mind will be working towards getting that. And how it might do that is, let's say you want a new opportunity in your life. Maybe you want a new job, or you want a new job, but you don't quite know how to get it. Well, when you start to imagine this new job and how it makes you feel, you see, it all is about the feelings, how that makes you feel, and all the different experiences that you might like with your new job. You might like the new place, an environment where you're working, your coworkers are responding to you in a certain way, they're behaving in a certain way, maybe the clothes that you're wearing, or the uniform or no uniform, whatever you want. Maybe it's close to your home, or maybe it's in a certain area of the city. And you start to think and imagine all those things, what's going to happen is your subconscious mind is going to be making your conscious mind more aware of new opportunities that come past you, through you, the corner of your eye. And so that your conscious mind then can take the action to get you what you want. So this is why it's so wonderful to work with the subconscious mind. So if you want to work with your subconscious mind, all you need to do, you can do it right now, is take a couple of slow, deep breaths in. And as you do that, you naturally start to relax, settle down, and slow your brain waves down. You can do that a couple more times, and if you'd like, you can just close your eyes. Keep your eyes open if you like, but you can also just close your eyes. And I'd like you just to imagine a comfortable place in nature where you can sit down, a place in nature where you're safe, sound, and secure. And it's kind of like maybe a vacation spot. It's a sanctuary, a paradise, a retreat, something that's for you. And in this place, everything and anything is available for you. Just the right temperature, feeling very comfortable, feeling very safe and secure and content. And in this place, it's so easy to just start to imagine the feelings of having what you want, what it is that you want. In this place, you can come to anytime you want, and you can access your subconscious mind here by just slowing things down. And you can start to imagine and instruct and input into your subconscious mind all the things that you want to feel about the things that you want. And allow then your conscious mind to get them for you. So I'm just going to count to 3 for those that you are going down into a nice deep state of relaxation. You'll be fully aware and fully immersed and completely aware and back into the space that you are. So 1, 2, 3. Fully aware, fully immersed, eyes open, here and now. Don't you feel great? So Dana, what did you find?
So Helena, I just came in for partway through that, but yes, lots of emotions released. But I love what you just went through, because anybody can do that. In law of attraction, we say find your happy place, right? Find that place in your subconscious, wherever it may be. It could be nature. It could be it could be a room. It could be a cave. It doesn't really matter what it is. But as Helena said, it's all about the feelings that you feel safe and secure, and you can start to really what Helena is also talking about is NLP, right? Neuro-linguistic programming, where you're starting to create a different story for yourself. So we do that in a lot of the therapies that we use. So oops, I just see I didn't check. Okay, I became Linda's proxy, but I noticed I don't have it checked off. So let me just get back.
You didn't disconnect?
I didn't disconnect, so I don't really want to carry these for me. So I'm just going to go back. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
Back. So I'm back to Dana now. So good. All right. So a lot of emotions came up. I also felt that just due to time here that the session ended, but I feel like there's a whole lot more there. So I'm going to invite Linda, if she wants to come on next week's show, which is about not getting a good night's sleep. Then I would continue to work with her if she wants. But if not, we can find someone else. I see there's Gersh Gilman is talking about nightmares that she has, so she's probably not getting a good sleep. And so Helena, you could respond to her. She's saying, what memories do I keep retelling?
Yeah, it's actually, so with the nightmares, when you go into a sleep, you're actually in a trance. What happens is that your subconscious, actually your brainwaves change. Mm-hmm. So there's different brainwave patterns. There's alpha, there's beta, there's theta. That's where the hypnosis, where we like to work in, and then there's delta. That's the sleep. There's gamma, which is a really deep trance. And what's happening is when you're going through those different brainwave states, theta is one of the states down into delta. What's probably happening there is the thoughts that you're falling asleep with, the theta thoughts, sometimes people are worried about getting a good night's sleep, and some people are maybe even worried about different things. Your subconscious mind is going to work on those because those were your last thoughts that you had as you're passing through into sleep. Now, sometimes when people are in that delta sleep and they are experiencing nightmares, it could very well be as that's the only safe time that they're feeling that they're wanting to work through the emotions and the memories that have been unprocessed. So what I would suggest is, as Dan is a law of attraction facilitator and life coach, is speaking differently to yourself during conscious daytime hours, which is speaking about what you want, not what you don't want.
Right.
Right? Very important, because those are the thoughts then about what you want that are going to create those positive emotions that you want, because there's only two kinds of emotions, right, Dana? Positive and negative.
That's right. Yeah. So if what you're saying to yourself when you get ready for bed is, oh, I don't know if I'm going to sleep very well, already
Yeah.
you're using 3 words we want to avoid: don't, not, and no. I don't know if I'm going to sleep very well. Well, chances are that's what you're going to focus on, because that's already what's gone into your subconscious, and you're worrying about that. So your law of attraction, right? You're going to attract that. So I'll just go through some of the emotions that I did release for Linda. So the first one that came up was the trapped emotional longing. So the sense that I got is that she was longing for things to be different, but really longing for the past to be different.
Mm.
But as Helena said, you, Linda, have to create in your mind a different future. So, you want to be looking at things that make you feel happy, what makes you feel good in relationships, right? Because that's what's coming up for you. So, there is work to do around that, right? It's not just, snapping up the fingers and everything changes. There's work that goes into that subconscious mind and makes you more mindful of the thoughts that you're choosing. So longing came up, then guilt. And a psychic trauma is when 2 trapped emotions come up together. So I had confusion and defensiveness about the past, kind of why did this happen to me kind of thing. And then the next one, psychic trauma, that came up right after that was shame and shock. So again, these are stronger. Helena and I in other videos talk about lemons. So Dr. Bradley Nelson says that the trapped emotions physically can be the size of a lemon or up to the size of a cantaloupe. And this is where you feel pain in your body. And this is where disease takes over. So shame and shock, hatred, vulnerability came up, which I released. Defensiveness came up, but it was inherited from your mother, Linda. So I released it from your mother. I don't know whether or not she's alive or wherever she is in the universe. Again, we go through time and space dimensions, past, present, and future. So it's all energy. So that's what's working there. And then the next one that came up was resentment, taken for granted, and bitterness and anger. So what I noticed with these emotions, because as I said, I like to work with the chakras, is that a lot of these are in the solar plexus and sacral area. So the solar plexus are really the area where that's where we gain our confidence. That's where we gain our power, right? We feel in charge of life. So we want the chakras to be balanced, and by releasing these trapped emotions, that's what we're moving forward into, is balancing those for you. So Linda, you can let us know over the next while how you feel. And as I said, if you'd like me to carry on for next week, because we're doing not being able to sleep, we'll do that. Or if somebody else wants to step up, we're happy to give other viewers opportunities as well.
So just reading something from Gersh, and she was asking, is this the only safe time to process through the emotions? What's saying before sleep? So, processing emotions, I like to be able to do when I'm alone, or if I'm in a group, it's kind of a group that's a supportive healing group. Mm-hmm. And The most important thing I think with processing through emotions is allowing them to come through. And nature is a great place to process those emotions, aren't they, Dana?
Absolutely. Dog beach.
Dog beach, out for a walk, go.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is to go look at the ocean, or water,
Yeah.
some body of water.
I love being around water. Yeah.
Water really does it for me. Some people like to go into the mountains or something, or like a hike or something like that. But I find that being out in nature and all the elements, the trees, the sky, the wind, the earth, water, really seem to help cleanse it through the system
Yeah.
and process it through the system. And it seems to that the energy then has somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I find with the water when I'm just sitting on a rock and, just listening and seeing the waves come in and out, I just feel like it's that life force energy breathing the water in and out just the same way as it breathes us, right? If humans had to think about breathing themselves, remembering to breathe, nah, none of us would be around because
That's why the subconscious mind's taking
Yeah.
care of that for you.
yeah, that's the life force energy that's in us. So when I see the ocean do that, and the other day I was out for a walk, the dog beach I go to is also a park, and I was just walking by some trees, and a little hummingbird
Oh.
flew out of the tree. Oh, I went, whoa! I mean, they're so quick, right? But it wasn't. It was a little tiny hummingbird. It was just so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really wonderful. All right, Helena, how can people get a hold of you?
People can get a hold of me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. Also, if you're interested in stopping smoking, it's thestopsmokinglady.com. I have a Facebook page, also have a YouTube channel.
Exactly. And thanks, Helena. And I can be reached at danasmithers.com/emotion-code. My YouTube channel is Empowered Women in Business because for years and years I've been a business coach, kind of moving out of that, although I still do some, but I have a lot of different videos on a lot of different playlists, Law of Attraction, Emotion Code, Sacred Gifts, and a few other things that I've thrown in there when I've interviewed other women entrepreneurs. So that's it for today's show, episode 44. Next week, same time. We would love it if you share. We're still fairly new to doing this, and we love to get new visitors, new viewers. It's not really just about liking our page. Helena and I never started this with the intention of, let's grow, to a massive audience. It's more, let's have people, viewers watching us where we know where they're interested. They set the intention. If they're watching us, they want some changes in their life, right? And they want to make a difference in the world. So pass that on. We love what we're doing, and we love your comments. And so thank you very much for that. So next week, we will see you, and we will post this. And if anyone that didn't get the recording or live, then just share it for us. And that's it for now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.